welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Hope you are all doing great. I am just here sitting in the park, just relaxing and just sort of taking in the beauty of the day and just thinking about stuff. Thinking about you guys, thinking about Church Nelly. I'm assuming many of you have heard by now. Church Nelly, has got some devastating diagnosis, and she posted last night that she has been diagnosed with cancer, stage 4 cancer, and it's devastating news. And I was just here thinking about her and just thinking about so many of us who in our community who are going through these challenging situations, challenging times that life has dealt us. And I just wanted to say, tell Church Nelly and let Church Nelly know how much we love her and are praying for her, praying for a miracle. God is a God of miracles, and I'm praying for a miracle for her and her family. I know it has to be devastating for them. As we know, it's situations like this, it's not just the person going through it, but the family going through it. It's just devastating. So I am definitely praying for them and for her, for like a miracle. I'm praying that, which it also explains, remember a few months ago, she was in the hospital for a while and has just been going through all of this pain. So this I'm assuming explains a lot of what that was. And so I am just really praying for her and her family, and just for strength, for courage, for just to feel the embrace of us, but even more importantly, feeling the embrace of God in her life. And I can't imagine getting, what she must be feeling and what she must be going through. So I just wanted to say, Church Nelly, if you're listening, I love you. We all love you. We're praying for you. And you're always in our thoughts, always in our prayers. And my goodness. So yeah, and also to many of us also who are others in our community who are going through so many different challenges. As you know, throughout the year, many others have also been diagnosed with cancer, or are in the hospital, or have lost loved ones. I know about that acute feeling of losing a loved one. And so we all very much are praying for each other, and definitely continue to pray for each other, because these are challenging times. These are times that we need friends and families and acquaintances, and even if we only know each other from a podcast, we all need each other's prayers. And so just wanted to say that, and to let Church Nelly know that if you're listening, we love you, we're praying for you, praying for your family. And to all of our other squaddies who are going through challenging times, we are praying for all of us in the community. So, but I love you guys. Hello to all of my friends. Oh my gosh, I was talking so much I didn't look up to see, like, all of my friends are coming in on the chat. I know this is one of these impromptu things that I'm sitting in the park, and I was just thinking of you guys, and I was like, well, why not just talk to my friends? Let's just say hello. As I sometimes do. So thank you guys for coming on and just impromptu. Hi, Connie Mama and Kevin Rayner and Lakiva, Dolores, BJB Mill 6. Oh, hello. I haven't seen you here before, but hello. Karen is here. Hello, Karen Warner. Oh, it's like happy to hear from you. I know you and your family had laid your my dad to rest. Yes. This past weekend was my dad's funeral, so it's been a bit challenging, but again, it's life. As we all have to deal with situations like that at some point, and it's the first time I'm really dealing with it. So it's just learning what grieving is, firsthand, and it's interesting. So yeah. But hello, Nalo Thandu is here. Hello, hello, hello. She's like, good evening, according to South African that I was about to say. It's like, it's still, well, what time is it in New York? It is now. Oh, well, it's afternoon in New York. It's 12:47. Really? It's 12:47 already? I swear I came to the park at 11. Or maybe I thought it was 11. Oh, it's almost 1. I didn't even realize that. Ooh, didn't know that. Okay, so Beverly is here and Calm is here, and well, I said Connie before. Mama Jane is here. Oh, hi guys! I'm so happy. TMCD is here. Thank you guys. Hi Kathy, Gabby, and Gwen. Hello, and Shelby. How are you guys doing? And of course, I am on my phone outside, so I can't post. When I'm on my laptop and I'm on the streaming site that I use, I can sort of post your comments on the screen, but unfortunately YouTube doesn't allow that yet. So YouTube, you gotta update your thing. You gotta, get better at this. But that's fine. I still get to see your comments and all of your prayers going out to everyone in Church Nelly. Yes. Connie says, Nelly, God is in control, and I believe everything will be fine. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. From your lips to the Lord's ears, Connie. So, yes, Church Nelly, Mama Jane says, hope Church you feel better. I hope so too. I'm hoping that there's no pain, because I know that she was in a lot of pain a few months back. So I'm hoping that she is not in pain right now. So Ani said, it looks like a beautiful day in New York City. Yes, it is a beautiful day in New York City. And it's very warm actually today, even though I'm wearing a hoodie. It's like in the 60s today. So it's very, very warm here. And I'm, as you can see, sitting by the water as usual. If there's water, I will find it and go sit by it. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Mama Jane. Says, I pedal, we're all praying for you. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're doing okay, as one can do in these situations, but I think we're doing okay. So yeah. Yes. Forcing says, gosh, that's awesome outside a city, because it is bad in a city, because in it is bad. Well, New York is New York. I mean, I don't see New York as bad. I see it as a city, and it's just, it's what it is. And so, yeah, we make do, and we see all the good. We see the bad too, but, we focus on the good parts. And I always try to find the good in New York, in spite of all the things that goes on here. But on a whole, New York is great. So I love New York. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's see what else you guys are saying before I move on. Nalathandu said the same. The Holy Spirit has raised Christ from the dead, and I pray that the same miracle he performed and revitalized Church Nelly's body, in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen, Nalathandu. Thank you so much for that prayer going out to Church Nelly. Yes. And going up and out for Church Nelly. So yeah, let me just move away from this gentleman. He is praying, so I don't invade his privacy. See, like a Muslim gentleman, they have their daily prayer, so I'm just give him this privacy over there. Let's see. Ooh. What else is happening? Well. I'm sure you guys by now saw, which was really, really cool. We haven't seen Prince Harry and Meghan in a while. And yesterday, Prince Harry had a meeting with NATO, of course, NATO, the NATO countries, whether, of the West, like the US, the UK, Germany, France, and all of their allies, all of the NATO countries that are a part of this alliance. And of course, I've not, NATO has been in my doghouse for the last year because of what they've been doing in Palestine and the Middle East. I am not happy with them. And so again, you know how I feel about what's going on in Palestine. But Prince Harry, they have been a part of now of the Invictus Games. So we saw them in Dusseldorf. They came and brought about 1,000 people from NATO, which was so cool. They came to the games, and of course we saw them with Prince Harry and Meghan. They did this big group shot with Prince Harry and Meghan, and then they were all part of the games, and it was so inspired by what they saw at the Invictus Games. It was wonderful. They actually, one of their leaders, one of their commanders was actually at the games at The Hague as well, because there are photos of him, and they also did a write-up of him visiting Prince Harry, and there are photos of him and Prince Harry at the games in The Hague. And so they just did one better, well, like major one better at Dusseldorf with bringing their whole 1,000 people team to the games. And so, and it's not surprising to see that they are really leaning into the Invictus Games and wanting to support it in every way. And so Prince Harry met with, and Prince Harry obviously via I guess streaming or however he did it. He was in California and they're having their meeting. I'm assuming their meeting was in Europe or something like that. And so he had a meeting with them, and it was real great because they've been posting about it the whole time. They have been posting about the meeting. They've been posting about, and we see Prince Harry on the screen. So I hope you guys, if you haven't seen it, which I'm sure if you're a squatty and you're on social media somewhere, you would have seen the photo of Harry on the screen. Talking to the team at NATO, and it's not just Prince Harry, but the Invictus team. So that were part of it, of course. Prince Harry, calling in from California, was part of it, and it was really, really cool. And I really, it was, and also, that's what really just elevates Prince Harry's status, of course, because, those in the UK especially are like, oh, Prince William. We'll get to him in a second. But it was very funny because they're all like about Prince William and his homeless PR thing, and then all of a sudden we have this thing from Admiral Rob Bauer, who was the first one to post about the NATO meeting. He said, aspiring NATO MC briefing by Via Invictus and Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. The unconquerable heroes of Invictus symbolizes strength, perseverance, and resilience. It is our responsibility to protect those who have so valiantly protect us. And of course, meaning the veterans who go off to war, who these countries that I'm not very happy at right now, sending young men and women off to war. And so NATO is really invested in protecting them and making sure that when they come back, because usually if it's not physical, it's emotional or both, and mental or all three, and they need help. And so Invictus has been instrumental in making sure that veterans coming back from active duty get the help that they need. And the thing about it, we long for a day when this is not necessary. I remember one of the things when Harry was talking about, and he was doing the press conference when they had the 10-year anniversary Thanksgiving service in the UK. It was one of the things he was mentioned. It's like he hoped that they wouldn't, he didn't envision seeing a 10-year of this. He had hoped that it wouldn't continue to 10 years, but here we are 10 years later, and men and women are still being sent to war, and they're still being injured in some way or another and need Invictus Games. So my hope and prayer is that there's not going to be another 5 years of Invictus Games. As much as I love Prince Harry, as much as I love, watching the resilience of these men and women, I want them to be healed and want peace, and not have to be sending them off to war and then coming back injured. And even if they're not injured physically for life, mentally, that might be the case. So, but NATO this is where we are, and this is where the world is, unfortunately. So NATO is very much invested in making sure that these men and women are taken care of. And so a little bit about what they said. It says on October 30th, which is yesterday, the Invictus Games Foundation briefed NATO military committee at NATO headquarters on the role of Invictus in supporting the wounded, injured, and sick service members and veterans. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, addressed the military community via VDC with a delegation attending the meeting in person. The delegation included Dominic Reed, CEO of Invictus, Lord Allen, Chancellor of the Board of Directors, and Richard Smith, the Deputy Executive Officer. And those are the Invictus team, along with Prince Harry, that addressed NATO yesterday. It says the delegation briefed the military community on the breadth and the development of their Invictus program and the progress it is making to expand the scope of its mission. The core purpose of Invictus is to support the recovery and rehabilitation of the wounded, injured, and sick, or the WIS service members through sports and adventure. The Invictus Games Foundation is working to continue establishing a global community where rehabilitation and recovery are better enabled and understood. This is primarily through the delivery of Invictus Games taking place in different host countries every 2 years around the globe, but also through a multi-layered program beyond the Games, which aim to build the network among global wounded, injured, and sick veterans and promote advocacy of Invictus. And there's a lot more to the letter, of course. I will post it in the community page just in case you didn't get it. And not a letter, I should say. It's like a press release that NATO put out yesterday. And so very, very, very exciting. Very, it's such a great thing that Invictus is doing, that they are expanding, and NATO, and again, with all the stuff that's going on in the world, expect to see a lot more participation, a lot more participants coming in because, and a lot more wounded and sick servicemen and women because of the conflicts and genocide and all that stuff that's going on in the world right now. So, but it's really cool to see Prince Harry out there helping his military brothers and sisters, no matter what we think of the governments that's putting them in these situations. They are out there, and he is out there, and the team at Invictus are out there making sure that their brothers and sisters are taken care of, that their needs are met as they need to be. So, yeah. As this very cute couple are taking photos. They're funny. Okay. Well, anyways, so thank you, Invictus Games Foundation. And a little bit, Invictus also posted about it. It says, yesterday, the Invictus Game Foundation was given the opportunity to brief NATO military community at NATO headquarters on our dedication to supporting international wounded, injured, and sick service members and veterans through sport. And they also put out a press release about it, so I will post that also in our community page so that you can take a look at it, just in case you've been under a rock for the last couple of days. I know. I'm assuming Baron or Duchess of Success, who you should buy her book, it's amazing, would have also mentioned this already. So very, very exciting. I am so proud of our Prince Harry. And of course, if you're a squatty, the thing you most zoomed in on, as most squatties have zoomed in on, is the photo in the back of Prince Harry. Apparently in the back of Prince Harry, and I don't know which one, I see something that kind of sort of looked like Meghan, and I think the light was shining on part of the photo, so you can see the whole photo, but it sort of kind of looked like their wedding photo. And of course, the press has zoomed in on it, or squatties have zoomed in on it, and so they are writing articles about the photo in the back of Prince Harry, their wedding photo. Now, why is this news? Obviously because a lot of them have been claiming, their separation and all this nonsense. So all of a sudden, a photo that we've seen about like a million times is this big news. Amazing, just absolutely amazing, the craziness. But Prince Harry is doing fine. They are doing great. He is in Montecito. They're under their tree doing whatever wonderful things they're doing. So yes, yeah. What else is happening? Well, last episode we talked about Prince William and his homeless PR documentary nonsense, and it's exactly what I thought it was. I think it's, and maybe I'm just emotional about things because I saw it and it made me so sad. Because again, as much as I'm not here for Prince William and Kate and all their nonsense, especially how they've treated Harry and Meghan, I don't look for their failure. I don't look for this, especially this project, to fail, or even Kate's baby project thingy that she's supposedly doing that we haven't heard anything about. I don't look for it to fail. For me, I critique the way they've gone about this, and it's the same thing I have with William and this homeless project, and centering himself in something that he does not need to center himself in. And on top of that, you taking money to make a documentary that all William needs to do is to get out there and build houses, either build communities for the unhoused people, or open up some housing that they have on the Duchy Farm, or some empty castles which they have a whole bunch of, and palaces that they have a whole bunch of, to the homeless. There is no need to be making documentaries. There is no need to do any of those things and center yourself. All you need to do is go do the work. We don't want to hear your opinion on homelessness. We just need you to take the resources that you have and go build homes so people can have a place to go. That's all you need to do. Talk about it after you've built the homes. We don't want to hear, that, we can end up. Yeah, we all know that could be ended. But you have the resources to do it. Ooh. Sorry, my phone just fell over. And that just went scrolling. Sorry about that. My phone just went flop. Anyways, so you have the ability to do all those things that you were doing. Stop with the nonsense of these crazy documentaries that nobody asked for. Just go build the homes. That's what is needed. And again, do like the Sussexes. Talk about it after you've done it. After you have built the homes, then go talk about it. That's all that is needed. So all this crazy rigmarole that they're doing in these crazy documentaries, which is of no value to anybody, because all everybody have been doing with the homeless is talking and talking and talking and talking and not building. You have the ability to, people always say, they can't really go and they can't really lobby for things. They can't get involved in politics or the government. It's nonsense. That is a lie. They do it all the time when it suits them. When it's something that benefits them, they lobby Parliament all the time to get it. This is a great time, as I've said, with Kate and her baby project that she's supposedly doing. The thing that is needed is money for that project. That's the one thing she hasn't been doing. Going out and get money from the government. That is what she hasn't been doing, and that is what she needs to do. Instead of these busy work thing that they're doing. As I mentioned in our last episode, and a few episodes ago, looking back through the financials, I did a whole episode on the financials of the Royal Foundation. In 2023, Prince William gave zero, and I mean zero, to the homeless. If you're going to give zero to the homeless, you do not have a platform to come and tell me anything about the homeless. You haven't, you have given zero. You can't then come and try to tell people, you know how to fix homelessness. And true to form, pretty much nobody watched his documentary nonsense. And I'm sure there were good-hearted people there, because there are a bunch of different organizations, homeless organizations, that were part of the documentary, and they were really proud of their participation in it. But at the end of the day, what is needed is action, not more talk. People are tired of the to hear about the talking, you know? And so it just, out of what, 56 million people in the UK, only 1.5 million people watched his documentary yesterday. So of course, everybody is calling it a huge flop, which it is. Which begs the question, why did Disney pick this up again? Something that they know will flop? Well, I didn't, like, I knew when it happened, but I didn't put two and two together. And I didn't even think about it. Because they were making this big deal about it be Prince William's homeless documentary being on Disney Plus, and how is this big competition with Prince Harry. Except what they didn't tell people, and what they don't want people to really pay attention to, is Bob Iger, who is the CEO of Disney, last year received a knighthood. He received a knighthood from Prince William himself. So no wonder. I was like, oh, well, that explains a lot. That explains a lot why. And not that, I don't want to say they tied his hands to air this documentary on Disney Plus, but I'm sure the fact that he got a knighthood presented to him by Prince William, that helped. That absolutely helped. And these two guys just refuse to leave my screen. I'm like trying to get away from them, but they're just sitting there taking photos. Oh well, it is what it is. It is New York after all. So anyways, so that kind of explained the Disney Plus. All of a sudden, why is Disney Plus doing this? That they know it. I mean, it only got 1.5 million views in the UK. How interested would Americans or other country be in watching Prince William's like, seriously? No. No. And not only that, their press has been basically calling this a abject fail. Actually, one of their press, I think it was iNews, literally called the documentary an abject failure. And it's just like, yeah, that's kind of what I thought was going to happen. Which again is sad. It is so incredibly sad. On top of just taking in 1.5 million viewers. And apparently, according to broadcast, I guess they usually put out numbers, whatever the ratings are. It says normally that time slot usually pulls in 2.4 million people, or 2.4 million viewers. Prince William's homeless documentary only pulled in 1.5, which honestly ITV should have known, because nothing they do is ever popular. People don't really watch that stuff. BBC knows that. I mean, they go back and forth between ITV and BBC. Even with Kate's Christmas stuff, it never pulls in a good ratings. So they should have known this would happen. But yeah, that time slot usually has 2.4 million viewers. William only pulled in 1.5. It just, again, something that is so important, they just, it's kind of like they're looking for ways to just fail. And it's just so ridiculous. And it's just so frustrating watching it. It is so ridiculously frustrating. It's like, oh, you have everything you need. Why? So, but anyway, so that's where they are with that. I think this Newsweek basically has an article that says Prince William documentary branded abject failure. Prince William's campaign to end homelessness has spawned a TV documentary described by one viewer as dismal television. Prince William granted behind-the-scenes access to a filmmaker highlighting William's Homewood project, which launched in 2023. The show pitches the Prince's project as an effort to continue his mother, Princess Diana's legacy by trying to eradicate homelessness, and feature footage from his childhood of mother and son working to help the less fortunate and themselves. However, although the show We Can End Homelessness focuses on an indisputable good cause, it's got a rough ride in the media, after it was broadcast on Wednesday, October 30th, with many suggesting a contradiction, bearing in mind his privilege and multiple homes. Like, duh. It suggests William will have an uphill battle ahead of him as he works to carve out a legacy during his time as next in line to the throne. And that therein lies the problem. This is all about Prince William carving out his legacy. It is not about the homeless. It is not about the people that he's claiming to serve, and everyone can see through it. That is the reason why he is centering himself. This is not about the homeless. It's not about the cause of the homeless. It's about William carving out a history for himself. That's why he is centering himself. And that's why he continually fails at it. That's why and nobody at Kensington Palace seemed to be able to figure out, like, people, just common sense, please, a little bit could tell you this is the problem, and they just haven't been able to figure it out. And it just it just boggles the mind. It just boggles the mind. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be. And apparently part 2 is today. They better be building something today. They better have shown, or they start building some homes or something, because geez, come on. So anyway, so that's not a not mess. And it's just like, hey, come on. What else is happening? This is really, and I'm so happy because even though it's a sad situation with Levi Davis, I did a whole episode on this situation with Levi Davis, this guy who was an X Factor, who he put out a video that somebody was blackmailing him and extorting him and all of that stuff, or sextorting him, and he basically was trying to get away and then ended up now missing for like the last year or something. And nobody knows what happened. Some people said that he fell over a boat. Some people said he died. But whatever it is, he is missing. And so I did a whole episode on that, and the really curious things that are going on. And especially when the whole thing came out with Dan Wooten, and I'm not saying Dan Wooten has anything to do with this, but it struck a chord with me how similar this whole thing with Dan Wooten and his whole mess, how similar it was to what was going on with Levi Davis and what happened to him. And I remember at the time I posted because I was when Byline Times were posting all about the Dan Wooten scandal, that they're the ones that obviously exposed it. I remember retweeting to them and asking them, can you please investigate this situation with Levi Davis, because it's so similar to what Dan Wooten is accused of doing with all of these men that he was basically blackmailing, and it's so similar. And so I retweeted, I'm like, can you please investigate what happened to Levi Davis? And so what I didn't know at the time, because apparently they were doing this investigation, and they said they've been investigating it now for 14 months. So I didn't know they were investigating. And so they've been investigating it. And so they put out this whole long article about things and new information that they exposed, which includes this TV producer who is alleged, or who may be the one who was blackmailing him. And even though Byline Times went and spoke to that TV producer, he claimed, yes, he sent all of these inappropriate pictures to Levi, and he was basically trying to get Levi on the show, which I think was bogus. So to try to get Levi to send explicit things about himself. And the TV producer said, well, yes, he acknowledged that, yes, he did send those things to Levi, including private, part photos, I guess. But he had nothing to do with Levi's disappearance, and he wasn't a part of blackmailing him and all. Of course he's going to say that, even if he was guilty of that, he's not going to say, yes, I am. That will, incriminate himself. But it's very interesting that Byline Times, and I was like, oh my gosh, because again, I remember at the time with Dan Wooten, I was like, please, 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 this is very similar to Levi Davis' case. Not realizing that they had already started investigating and doing their own investigation about Levi Davis. So I'm going to put this whole article in our community page so you can read it. But it's very important. And also Levi Davis's mom has asked the police to start investigating again, because it's sort of like the case went cold and nobody did anything. And so I think there are a couple of MPs as well who are demanding that they reopen the case and reinvestigate this case. And as I said back then, if I were his mom, one of the first places I would look with this sort of thing, it is the British tabloids. The British tabloids and the press. One of the things that Levi Davis said in that video, and I posted that video during that episode that I did on Levi Davis, is that whoever it was that was blackmailing him have a relationship with the police, because everything Levi told the police went and told that person. And the person told Levi. So Levi knew he couldn't trust even the police. And so I'm like, that's definitely sound like what happens with the tabloids in the UK. So if as I said back then, if I were his mom, I would definitely start with the tabloids, because I would bet they may have something to do with what happened to Levi. Again, we don't know what happened to Levi. We don't know if he's alive. We don't know if he died, whatever it is. But we just know he's missing. So it's very good to know that Byline Times is still investigating. The police are reopening it. MPs are on the case to reopen it to find out what happened to Levi Davis, and his mom is really advocating for them to really continue investigating. So yeah, so hopefully at some point there is some kind of resolution that we know what happened to this young man, because somebody knows something what happened to him. So, and more people, actually, I almost dropped my phone again. More people, according to Byline Times, there are more people that Levi told about what was happening. So more people have information about it. So I look forward to hearing what happened to Levi Davis. So it's good that more and more people know. So yeah. What else is happening? What else do I have here? I actually think that's it. For this, let's see. Oh, this is very cool. Team Nigeria, the President Tinubu reaffirms his support for Team Nigeria. They, of course, are going to be at the Invictus Games coming up in Vancouver, Whistler. And so it's great to see that the government is really there supporting the team, which is needed. And they are also building that new facility in Nigeria to support the wounded and injured servicemen and women there. And so it says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has pledged support for Nigeria's team as they prepare to compete in the Invictus Games set to take place in Vancouver in 2025. And so very, very, very exciting. Very much looking forward to meet for the first time in person our friends from Nigeria. Looking forward to meeting Peacemaker and those guys for the first time. We talk all the time, but it's like I've never met them, so it's really it'll be very, very exciting to finally put the face, the real face and everything to what I see on the screen. So yeah, but that's it. Our faves are silent, and other than Harry being there and with NATO yesterday, I saw, as I was about to jump on here, people put out an article about, and at first I thought, and I should have known better, they just want anything Sussex related. It says about something about the Sussex's Halloween, and I was like, oh, Harry and Meghan are out with the kids, and they're just talking about what they did in the past. And I was just like, yeah, they are just anything. They just want anything Sussex related, or, anything. It's like, yeah, it's Halloween today. So it's like, let's find some old thing that the Sussexes did to talk about just so we can, get some clicks. It is just crazy. I'm like, come on. And I should have known better, but I fell for it, thinking that they have some new something about the Sussexes and their Halloween. So yeah, it just yeah. Mama Jane says, I hope Dan Wooten will be jailed. Now, again, I don't know if Dan Wooten, I have no evidence that he has anything to do with anything about Levi Davis. It's just that when Byline Times did the whole investigation, a whole series of what Dan Wooten was doing, it just, everything about it just was so familiar because I had heard the video of Levi Davis talking about his situation. It all just was like, wait a minute, this is very similar to what someone did to Levi Davis. And so again, I have no evidence or any of that stuff that Dan Wooten is involved in any of this, and most likely he's probably not. But I mean, would I be shocked if he is? No, I wouldn't. But there is no evidence to suggest that. But it's just that when that whole thing was coming out, it rang very familiar because it's what Dan Wooten was alleged to be doing to other men. So yeah, that's why I was just like, oh my gosh, can you guys please investigate Levi Davis case, because it sounds very familiar. It sounds very similar to this, not knowing that they were already doing that. So yeah, very much hopefully they get more word on what happened to Levi. So, and I hope he's alive. I so hope that he is alive and just hiding. But it doesn't look good, but there is hope. I mean, I want to hold on to hope. So yeah. Let's see, I'm just going through your comments. Let's see. TMCD says they will always be unsuccessful in their endeavors because they are not genuine at all. I'm assuming you're talking about William and his homeless PR stuff. And the thing about it, it's like you have success right in your hands and then you just choose to reach for failure instead. And that's what I see. I'm like, guys, the least you can do, there are things called tiny homes community. Even if you build, King Charles built a whole community in the Duchy of Cornwall when he was, controlling the duchy. This is not hard to do. You don't have to build 5-bedroom homes. People can't afford those things anyway, unless you're just looking for the government to subsidize it. You're just looking for the government to pay you to have families come live in 5-bedroom homes. There are tiny homes community that you can build for people. You can start with the most vulnerable, like the children or those who the people with special needs. You can build a whole community. You have so much land. Build small homes so that people can afford. There are people who are working but simply cannot afford the rents that are out there. Build small homes with affordable rent that these people who are literally working can afford to live in. Build homes for people who cannot afford to pay anything. Build and do it in such a way as to give those people jobs. Let them come and help you build their community and pay them to do it. What are they going to do with the money? Invest it back into the community. They're going to be buying stuff. That money goes right back into the community. There's so many things that they can do. Instead of using money to make stupid documentaries that nobody asked you for, use that money to actually start building. We don't want to hear about things. We want you to do things. Tell us about the things you've done. And that is the thing that I cannot understand why they still haven't figured out. Goodness grievances. It ain't hard. Wow. So Gwen is like, bye pedal and squatties. Love bye Gwen. I know people are busy off doing whatever it is they're doing. So there you go. Bye Gwen. Have a great day. Thank you for coming by and hanging with us. Tim is like, oh, such a beautiful view. Yes, thank you. New York and New Jersey are beautiful. Just looking out. This is New Jersey that you're looking at, by the way. So I'm just like sitting by the water, looking at New Jersey. Let's give you a little bit more of a view of what I'm looking at. I love to come up here and just sit by the water. It's very calming. Even though the calming New York style, because there's like a highway right in the back of me. So it's like cars going by. So this is New York's version of calm, not normal people's version of calm. But I take it because, it is what it is. I'm used to New York's version of calm. So yeah. Let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat. I'm just scrolling. TMCD said, we're so proud of the Sussexes. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And yeah, I'm very, very proud of them and everything they're doing. Proud of Prince Harry. Prince Harry's court case, I haven't really heard much about Prince Harry's court case. Apparently that's going to be coming up in January. So in a couple of months, Harry's going to get another court case. I think this one will be with this. Wait, is this with the Sun or is it with the Daily Mail? One of them. I've lost count. I've lost track. But it's very interesting because one of the people that's involved in his case, Will Lewis, who is now the editor of the Washington Post, we did whole episodes on Will Lewis and that whole mess at the Washington Post, who, by the way, their motto is democracy dies in darkness. Well, they decided to kill democracy themselves, it seems. So anyways, there's been this big hubbub about Will Lewis and Washington Post and Jeff Bezos, who owns the Washington Post. And apparently everyone has been in a big hubbub because Jeff Bezos and Will Lewis decided that they're not going to endorse Kamala Harris, which a lot of news outlets in the US do, like the New York Times and the LA Times and a bunch of all these other news outlets. They pick a candidate and they endorse the candidate, which I never understood. I'm like, why are news outlets endorsing, why are they endorsing political leaders? Like, that makes no sense to me at all. So there's this big hubbub about the Washington Post. And of course, if you know anything about Will Lewis, he's the one that, yes, he's in Prince Harry's lawsuit because he is accused of deleting hundreds or thousands of emails that they were specifically told not to delete because they're part of a court action. And so deleted basically to protect Rupert Murdoch's entity. Yes, he's one of Rupert Murdoch's people. And I said at the time, look, if Washington Post, if Jeff Bezos didn't want someone like Will Lewis, someone who is from the Rupert Murdoch world, he would have fired him long before he started, because when this whole thing got revealed, there was a whole month before Will Lewis actually started the job, and Will Lewis has been there all year. And so because of this big hubbub now with the Washington Post not endorsing Kamala Harris, people are so upset that over 250,000 people have, canceled their Washington Post subscription because, they're upset that the Washington Post decided not to endorse Kamala Harris. Now, I have a very unpopular opinion about this again. I do not agree that news outlets should be endorsing political candidates. They should be endorsing political party because you're supposed to be neutral and unbiased. If you're going to be endorsing a candidate, then you're going to have to sit there and try to convince me why you endorse that person, no matter what that person have done. You're going to have to try, whether it's endorsing Trump, you're going to have to try to convince or try to at least, have to defend the fact that you're okay with this person who has committed just about every crime in the book and has been convicted of it. You have to explain and convince people as to why that is okay with you. If you're endorsing Kamala Harris, then you're going to have to do the same thing, and why supporting genocide is okay with you. I mean, hello. Do you want to sit there and have to really justify the fact that this person is really supporting a terrorist apartheid state that is wiping out a whole country of people and committing genocide against the Palestinian people? Like, you want to sit there and justify that when you're supposed to be, and especially when your motto is democracy dies in darkness? Hello. So for me, and again, it's a very unpopular opinion, that I don't believe any news outlets, and the Los Angeles Times, the same, they are not endorsing her or anyone for that matter, I guess. And apparently the person who owns the Los Angeles Times, his daughter is very pro-Palestinian, so she is like, no, we're not endorsing her because of this. And so again, I don't care who the candidate is and who the parties are. I don't believe that news outlets should be endorsing anyone. You need to stay neutral so that you can report without fear or favor. That is the goal of journalism. You seek out the facts and you seek out the truth and you report the truth or the facts and let it land wherever it lands. You're not there to be nominating or endorsing political candidates. And so that is my stance on that. And so I find myself in the weird position of agreeing with Jeff Bezos and Will Lewis, not endorsing anybody. So it's just like, I don't know how I ended up in this position, but yeah, I'm like, no, you don't do that sort of nonsense. So that is my position on that. Nobody, no news outlet, if you are reporting the facts, should be on anybody's side. You're supposed to be on the side of the truth, not political parties, and especially not the ones that are there right now. Definitely, because again, you're going to have to really try to convince me why genocide is okay, why ethnic cleansing is okay, why massacring children is okay. You're gonna have to convince me why someone who has been prosecuted for all of these crimes, rape, extortion, all of the 30-something crimes that Donald Trump has committed, why that is okay, and why you, a purveyor of the truth, would be endorsing it. Like, hello. So again, I'm like, yeah, no, I agree. Don't endorse anybody. That is, for me, journalism. The rest of it, no. I am not here for sycophancy. I'm not here for people just endorsing because, well, I don't want this other person to win. That is not journalism to me. You need to be on the side of the truth. Stay on the side of the truth. So there. That's my very unpopular opinion. I'm sure nobody agrees with me, but that's where I stand on that issue. And you know where I stand with both of these candidates. Neither one of them should be running or be president of the United States. Period. So that's where I stand on that one. Yeah, I know it's unpopular, but that's where I stand. So I don't mind being the only one who thinks this way. So there you go. Anyways. Karen says, in Canada, we have a program called Habitat for Humanity where community get together and build and build homes for selected families. They also, I just lost you there, Karen. Where is it? Okay. And build homes for selected families and also help. It is wonderful. I won't be surprised if William copy. Well, that's a great thing to copy. Copy away. Copy away. There are communities in the U.S. And it's one of the things that is really cool in California, where the homelessness is out of control in so many ways. I remember Arnold Schwarzenegger raising, I think was $250,000 and building, created a tiny home community for homeless veterans. They were sleeping in tents by, I think they were, close to Skid Row over there, where they were sleeping in tents. And so Arnold Schwarzenegger raised funds and built an entire tiny home community for homeless veterans. It doesn't have to be much. It doesn't have to be a lot. People just need a roof over their heads that is secure. And, it changes everything. It doesn't have to be anything major. Just get a roof over people's heads. Give them, team up with organizations that would provide stuff. You have so many, whether it's furniture stores, electronic stores, it has all of these things that can give to charity. And they have charity programs or charitable programs as part of their companies. Team up with them. Help them furnish these apartments for people. Have the people, there's IKEA. There's all of these furniture stores that can donate stuff to outfit these homes for people. Get people off the streets or get families. I mean, there was this one family in the UK I would never forget. They have jobs. They literally have jobs and still cannot afford to pay the rent. So their whole family are now living in a tent. And it's just like, are you serious? I mean, this shouldn't be, shocking. I mean, for the whole year, I look at, I've watched Palestinians be bombed out of their homes and are living in tents, which they're also bombed out of. Another whole other story. But it's crazy when you can build affordable homes for people, that you could build whole communities in an affordable way so that to get people, especially this is fall, winter is coming. People need homes, not documentaries. So it just, Lord, it's so frustrating. So look, copy Habitat, copy whomever. I don't care. Just build something. I don't care where you get it. Just build something. So yeah, if they can copy Habitat and they're doing, I know our former president, who is still alive, by the way, just turned 100 years old, President Carter, he was 90 something years old. I remember one time he had a fall and he was still out the next day with the bandage on his head out building. I could be wrong, but it sounds like the same program, Habitat for Humanity. He was out there building homes, and I think it was in New Orleans or some of those places, building homes for families. And it just like, that's what's needed. I hope and I wish and pray somebody would get that through to Kensington Palace. Again, I don't wish that William fail. I want him to succeed so that people can have a place to live. So somebody please contact Kensington Palace and be like, look, copy me, copy me and build some homes for people. You got the money, you have the resources, you have the connection. Build homes. Do it. TMCD says, I think it was Jimmy Carter who came up with Habitat. Oh, really? So, okay, I didn't know who came up with it. So I know, because I remember that photo of him. He had a fall and had the bandage around his head. And the next day he was out there building homes. He had the hammer in his hand building homes. And it was just like, Jimmy Carter is amazing. He just turned 100 years old a few days ago. And he went out and voted. One of his things he wanted to do before he died was to vote for Kamala Harris. And he was able to go out and do it. So, he got his wish. So there you go. But Jimmy Carter is an amazing man. So, yeah. Let's see. What else you guys are saying? TMCZ says, I just moved to a place and I'm close to the waterfront with a view. Oh, so wonderful. Congratulations, TMCD. Yeah, being by the water is amazing. And of course, I have this very complicated relationship with water. I wouldn't want to be in it, but it's so calming for me to be by the water. So I absolutely love it. I love being here. Even if it's New York calm, as I call it, I love being close to the water. So yeah, so I'm happy you had that view. That's awesome. So yes, anyways, I think that's it, guys. Me ragging on Prince William as usual. It's like, get it right, dude. You have everything you need. Get it right. Get it right. I just feel like maybe I need to call Kensington Palace myself, like, people. And again, I don't want him to fail. I want him to succeed because he has what's needed to get these people in the UK some homes. So if he succeeds, then people are not on the streets. They can find homes. And that for me is the most important thing. Get people homes. So yes. So yeah. Hello, Habibi. How are you? But anyway, guys, I think that's it. That's all I got. Have a fantastic day, my friends, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. And again, please, everyone, and I know we've all been doing it, but just in case, please pray for Church Nelly, pray for her health, pray for her family, who, of course, this will be devastating news for them. And so please pray for them. Please pray for a miracle for Church Nelly. And God is a God of miracles, so we are definitely in need of a miracle. So please pray for that. And that she would be comforted in every way at this moment, wherever she is today. So, Trish, Nelly, we love you and are praying for you. And yeah, so anyway, guys, I love you all. I will chat with you next time. Oh, hey, Kanisha, I'm just seeing you there. Kenitha Ash, how are you, my friend? I'm so happy you're here. And oh, LMC, oh, I missed so many people. I didn't see you there. So hello, CH. I didn't see you there either. Sorry, I'm just seeing you when I'm leaving. But Patricia, hello, hello, hello. Happy. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me for a bit. And anyways, guys, I am off. I love you all, and I will chat with you next time. Bye.